everybody. It's me, Henry Perezalonso, here once again with the Take 5 Challenge. That's right. This is the opportunity that I have to connect with other professionals. For those of you who know the story, yes, this kicked off in 2018 where I challenged a whole association for the California Parks and Recreation Society to say, hey, take 5 minutes a month to connect with another professional. And that's what we're doing right here through this podcast. We're just taking 5 and connecting and modeling what that actually looks like for you through these conversations that I get to have with awesome professionals. So just so you know, when I come right back, I'm going to be sitting here talking to Leah Martinez, and I'm so excited to just have the time with her. And I look forward to you guys listening to what she's got to say and just, again, us taking 5 and having a good time. So we'll be right back. Hey everybody, here we are back again, and with me, my guest, Leah Martinez. Hey Leah, how are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Just doing just fine today?
I'm doing great. It's Friday, everything's going great.
Hey, thank you so much for joining me and just kind of hanging out and being able to connect with me. I know that we have a history of working together and just being colleagues for quite a long time. I'm just excited to actually just kind of sit and talk to you because of that. But first, for those that don't know who you are or haven't met you yet, for those very few that I'm sure, who are you? Where do you work? Just give us a little bit of a Leah background.
Sure. So, hello everyone. My name is Leah Martinez. I'm a recreation supervisor with Hayward Area Recreation and Park District. I've been with HARD for just over a year now, and previously with other agencies like Danville and San Bruno. I worked in aging for about 10 years, and I'm just in general recreation now, and I am currently serving as the Secretary-Treasurer for the CPRS State Board.
Ooh, so I got a big wig on with me today. I had like a board member and all that fun stuff. I like that. You're like, why that grin? Like, So you're kind of a big deal. I like that. So, hey, Leah, actually, I wanted to chat with you because as I was sitting here, if we think about the time of year that is, right? So we're straight in the middle of summer, deep summer, towards the end for a lot of people, right? I know some folks actually ended this week, some others end next week, some probably ended last week. And it made me start thinking about people and sustaining energy and sustaining yourself as professionals. And I know that you're someone that's been around, you've done, summer programs, you've done all that stuff. And I don't even know where you're at right now, but where are you in the summer? Are you, let's go feels wise, right? How are you feeling right now? At this part of which is supposedly our busiest time of year, right?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think I am fortunate to feel very energized this time of year. I love seeing the increased traffic through our community centers. I oversee the special interest camps here at HARD, and so just seeing the wide variety of what we can provide in a very condensed period of time is always pretty inspiring. And knowing that the kids are going off to school and we're almost, knock on wood, almost through it, yet another successful summer. It's a great feeling.
So what would you say? Okay, I know sometimes I'll talk about, and people have heard me talk about how many summers I worked. How many summers is this for you?
Ooh, a lot. Probably this is maybe my 20th or 21st summer in
Isn't that
recreation.
crazy? So every summer we start off fresh, we start off ready to go, which I think is really interesting. The thing I wanted to chat with you about and kind of get into a little bit, for me and just to kind of get an idea of what people go through, but how do you even stay fresh at this point, right? Where does the freshness come for like our profession and our professionals, like for you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about fresh a lot over the last 24 hours, I would say. And one of the ways that I am challenging myself to stay fresh was by taking on a new program area. So like I mentioned, I was working with older adults for the last decade. And as a mom myself, youth programming looks a little bit different now. And so I'm challenging myself to take, youth programming to the next level and look at what we can offer that may not already be available to the community. And I think we get freshness from our colleagues as well, and being open to feedback both from the public and our coworkers, and just being able to be humble and take that in and challenge ourselves to grow.
So with that, you said something that I thought was really interesting. So now that you're a parent, right? You're a parent of young kids. So knowing that, because I remember back when my kids were younger, and all of a sudden my mind shifted in even programming. So how does that help your programming? Knowing, and I guess in a sense, who you're programming for, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to think that as recreation professionals, we parent a little bit differently. Maybe we're even a little more fun, or we know what we want to expose our kids to. But I also think the two areas of focus for me, one is what can we expose our kids to that they wouldn't get in a classroom or at home. So
Mhm.
I'm always about like sensory, getting outdoors, exposing them to like mud and slime and things that I don't want necessarily in my kitchen. And then the other focus would probably be safety, both when we're thinking about putting together our camps, but also psychological safety and making sure that everyone feels welcome to participate and participate in the way that they're ready to engage in the programming. So I think those are the two things that have shifted for me since becoming a parent.
So, what would you say to those, like our colleagues that aren't parents and are programming for kids? And I say this honestly because I remember the fact that when, when I was younger and programming, it was no issue to say, hey, yeah, we'll have some preschool things at 1 o'clock. Why wouldn't we have classes at that? Come to learn as a father that 1 o'clock is nap time. So what am I doing and how am I doing that? But so what would you say to those folks that are running, youth programs, but then, may not have that experience to draw from?
I think that it is a huge asset. So, speaking to keeping things fresh, I think the collaborative nature of our work is so important.
Yeah.
And so, if you're not a parent, continue to brainstorm and dream big ideas and also be collaborative and feel okay about checking in with colleagues. Like, hey, is this going to be too scary for like a pre K class? Or maybe is this nap time? I mean, those are important considerations. But I also think non parents sometimes have creative ideas that we as parents couldn't imagine because we're too busy trying to get both shoes on our kids at the same time. And so I see the value on both sides.
That's pretty good. I mean, I think it just sparks a whole lot of questions and interesting because I think even in the stages of life, like you and I have known each other enough that we have seen each other through different stages in life, right? And then I remember a conversation that I'm like, hey, things are going to change now that you're in a married relationship. Things are going to change now that you have kids, and even for me, not just changing jobs more recently, but things are going to change as I get older. My kids are now, older, and I don't like that whole idea. But I have to also think of ways to help them stay involved and recreate, right? And maybe for them, it's the jobs that they have because they are. I've been fortunate enough to have two kids that are in our summer job in our profession right now. So one's a lifeguard, running a pool. The other one, is helping run, preschool camps. So they're in it. They're in the thick of it, and it's so excited to see that because they are also kids that were brought up in that phase. But I just think it's interesting to think about us as phases and us as professionals that gotta stay fresh with this stuff too, right? Do you see how that helps like the stages that we go for our profession? I don't know. This is just something that just popped in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I think we show up as who we are as whole people, and that can mean a bunch of different things. I think seeking out staying on trend or staying fresh for ourselves can happen at any stage of our profession. And so the opposite of fresh isn't a seasoned employee. I think seasoned employees challenge themselves and stay fresh in their own way. I also think that keeping ourselves fresh by taking care of ourselves is also crucial because when we are able to take care of our physical, mental well-being outside of work, we're able to show up more fully and more authentically to work. Yep. And so that's something I'm trying to model. And that gives fresh perspective too, right? Like when we're able to truly disconnect and step away, some of our most creative ideas can happen, even if it's at like 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that when you wake up. I think who we are as people really informs the work that we do, and we might not talk about that as much as we should.
Yeah. And I got to point that out, and I want to say thank you for reminding me that yes, I'm speaking as a parent and all that stuff, but we do have professionals that aren't necessarily parents, and that's not to say that just because we're going through that stage of life that that's the only thing that changes us. So I do appreciate you saying that and reminding us that yeah, man, it's like that's just my experience. That's my experience and what I do and what has changed my thinking and maybe staying fresh in that way. But the freshness of refreshness and refreshing, right? So I'm about to go on vacation again. So, and as I go on vacation, that is a chance for me to reset, refresh, recreate on my own. And that is key. That is super key for us as professionals to be able to do that. So as we end summer, I know especially those youth and teen folks, it's prime vacation time, right? So take that time, reset yourself and refresh that. And I really do appreciate you pointing that out because, yeah, the mind is a powerful thing. And for us to forget to nourish that in whatever way that is, it really will drain us in so many different ways. And I think that we as professionals need to remember that whatever stage or age we are in life, whatever our household looks like, all of those things, I think it's really important to key in on that and to be there for each other through that process. I think it's cool. And I thank you for that, because that was a good reminder. And I really, for anyone listening or watching, it's like, yeah, I wasn't slighting anyone because you're not, because I'm not a lot of things. So, but I want to make sure that we were doing that on that end. On that note, the mental health part, that stuff, and I can see how that rejuvenates. Is there any, I don't know, man, what are you going to tell your staff right now? Like, hey, I'm just having a hard time. It's end of summer. They're burnt. What do you use, and what tools might be there for us to just be aware of, or for me to say, hey, be watching this in your people, especially now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it can happen at all different levels. Excuse me. We work next to a park, so taking advantage of the 11 minutes it takes to walk the park. And I'm like, hey, you don't have 11 minutes right now? Like, let's step away. And really calling each other on that. And also being able to acknowledge the skills outside the workplace that people can then bring in, or maybe someone's learning how to DJ, or maybe someone's trying all the recipes on TikTok. Being able to build a relationship in a professional setting through those interests, I think helps us be more seen. And I think that helps when it comes time to roll up our sleeves and do like the hard work or work through the burnout. Knowing and trusting each other is key.
So I like that. Even in the things that we are getting educated on, even in the things that we're trying, that also sparks your brain to and a lot of times freshness. I know that, you read a book and it sparks your mind. I take a class and then everyone hold tight because here he comes. Here's the next thought on all of that. But I think that's just interesting. Any, I don't know, last little tidbits on this whole role, freshness and things like that you have in mind of, or that have sparked that you've been thinking about that might be helpful?
I am certainly not the expert in, managing all these things perfectly. But in the last year, I've put myself in a lot of new rooms and at a lot of new tables. And so that's fresh, right? Fresh experiences. Yeah. And it doesn't always feel like we're supposed to be there, or it doesn't always feel, fluid and natural. But I'm so grateful for all of those rooms I've put myself in and all those ways I've challenged myself forward. And so I think my closing statement, my headline is for us to keep fresh and keep putting ourselves in fresh situations to grow and to better support each other.
So thanks. And as this is the Take 5 challenge, I have to ask all my guests, in knowing that, would you say, yes, I'll take up the challenge to partner with somebody else within our profession and just kind of get together and sharpen each other? Would you take that challenge?
I would say absolutely. And I'd also want to know if anyone has said no, but I would say absolutely.
That's a good question. Well, I mean, I guess it's all in the way you ask, right? But if someone were by chance, not officially connected with you, but wanted to get a hold of you, where can they get a hold of
you? Sure. I'm great via email. So marl@haywardrec.org, or you can call me at 510-626-8820. And yes, I had to check my desk line is on a note.
That's okay. I would probably be doing the same thing right now. I was like, what's correct? So it was okay that, if you wanted to hold back on the number, either way, it was okay. Leah, thanks so much for taking 5 with me and just kind of connecting. And I kind of got a little rejuvenated here too on this one. So thanks so much. And I really appreciate your time as always, to hanging out with me and just sharing a bit of you, which is really cool. So I appreciate that. So to everybody else out there, give me a moment. I'll be right back with some final thoughts on checking in and taking 5 with Leah. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for listening in. For all my friends and my non-friends who happen to be listening, I just wanted to take a moment for a little look back on just talking to Leah and having a good chat about freshness and keeping fresh in so many ways. Like my mind's like sparking right now to, yes, life circumstances changes how we stay fresh. The mental health part of it all, and remembering that we need to take care of ourselves and make sure we get refreshed and rejuvenated, whether it be through vacation, whether it be through learning, whatever it may be, because that also sparks something in how we do what we do. So I encourage folks to really kind of sit back and look at that. And I thought that was a super great reminder for me to say, hey, it's not just life circumstance, because we all are in different places and stages. And I think that it's going to be important for each one of us to remember that as we try in this profession, especially coming out of summer, to just stay fresh and engage in what comes next. So I want to thank you guys all for taking 5 with me. Again, remember, Take 5. The Take 5 challenge is really about you and me and all the professionals coming together, sharpening each other. As iron sharpens iron, we sharpen each other. We make each other stronger. And I want to make sure that we are there for each other. And through this podcast, thank you to CPRS and the Push to Play Network and kind of taking us on and making this thing happen. If you want to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me through the Take 5 challenge Instagram. So it's Take5_challenge. Go ahead and DM me, because I would love to know who else you want me to talk to, any topics you want me to kind of reach out to, because this is not just for me to grow, but for you as well. So we will see you next time right here on the Take 5 challenge. Thanks again.